Joba was Evelyn's ego. It makes you believe the devil is just God's ego. Welcome back to the YGG channel. I'm back at it again with another video. As y'all see by the title, I'm doing Everything Everywhere All at Once breakdown. Everything Everywhere All at Once is showing us all different stories all in one. From the four elements to our mind, body, and soul, us being connected and being one, how the spirit moves through us while giving us memories, talents, emotions, and knowledge, how we are gods and we are devils, how we are the good and bad, the light and the dark. It also shows us how the war that we created and how it spreads through the cosmos and how the truth and love will set us all free. The movie starts off with Evelyn, Wayman, and Joy singing karaoke, and you see Evelyn puts her hand around Joy's mouth while she is singing. Even that beginning of the part makes me emotional when I watch it. Like, it makes me like tear up because even that part is so like symbolic and sad. It turns to Evelyn so busy doing everything all at once. She's trying to do the taxes, and you see Wayman, who is her husband, he's trying to have a real conversation with her to talk about a divorce. Evelyn's so busy doing taxes, stressing about the Chinese New Year party and about her dad. Wayman's reassuring her, telling her he'll be proud of you. He'll see that you nurtured a happy family. Evelyn starts to zone out. As Evelyn is zoning out, you see mass clutter everywhere. The way your home looks correlates to your mental and your health stability. Evelyn is so busy, her mind is everywhere. She avoids the real conversation with Wayman. We see Joy, who is Evelyn's daughter, staring into the void of the washing machine cycle. Her girlfriend Becky comes and Joy is trying to get her put together, trying to cover her tattoos. Now you have Joy trying to have a real conversation with her mother. She says she wants to help with the audit, to help translate, and Becky should stay with the grandpa. Evelyn declines, but she wants to take her father with her. Wayman says, "Do your father know that we're being audited?" Yet again, Evelyn avoids the conversation. She hears a bell and she says customer and she rushes off. Joy wants her mom to wait, keeps on trying to talk to Evelyn about her girlfriend. Evelyn keeps changing the subject and she keeps on flipping the conversations, avoiding it. Evelyn doesn't want to tell her father that Joy is gay. She feels like his heart can't take it. Evelyn herself doesn't have a problem with Joy being gay. Evelyn is being judgmental. She starts talking about a customer and her big nose. Wayman moves the customer clothes upstairs. Back upstairs, Evelyn tells Joy to stop changing the subject. But it's Evelyn who is changing the subject. Evelyn is talking bad about the auditor. She feels like she is targeting the Asian community. Wayman keeps on giving her cookies. As Evelyn is talking, you can see Joy is at her breaking point. Joy is really annoyed. As Evelyn is going on and on, Wayman turns into Alpha Wayman on the footage. Evelyn says, "I tried to make our lives more easier and simple, but your father sometimes, I wonder how he would survive without me." So Evelyn feels like without her, everything will crumble. Back downstairs, Wayman is dancing with a customer as Evelyn is zoning out while she's looking at the dance on TV. You could say Evelyn wants to be an actor or she wants to be a dancer. She want that to be her life. Joy is talking crap about her family to Becky, and the grandfather comes downstairs demanding food. Joy tries to tell the grandpa that Becky is her girlfriend, but Evelyn interrupts her and tells that Becky is a good friend of Joy. Joy's like, "Bitch." No, she said, "Mom, are you dead ass?" Yet again, Evelyn avoids this conversation. She runs after the customer to hand her her things and invite her to the Chinese New Year party. Evelyn sees that Joy's about to leave and she tells her, "I got something to tell you." Evelyn tell, "Oh girl, you getting fat, you chunky." And Joy is like, "This hoe." Both of them are sad and hurt. You can see Joy, she's crying as she drives away. Evelyn, she looks dead inside as she helps her father upstairs. They both look defeated. Evelyn zones out again. Wayman asks Evelyn, "What are you doing? What are you thinking about?" And that is part one, and it says everything. In this small introduction, we see that Evelyn struggles with communication. She avoids it, real conversations. Evelyn is judgmental. She judges herself, she judges her daughter, she judges customers, she judges her man, she judges the audit person. Evelyn also cares about her father, trying to seek validation for his approval. In the tax building, Evelyn lies to her father about getting a new business license. Even after she lies, her father's still not satisfied. He moaning and groaning like, shut your old stuff. He could have stayed at home for real. Wayman sees a couple kissing, and once in the elevator, Wayman brings up that he wants to go on a trip. Evelyn's not feeling it. Evelyn says, if I have to think about one more thing today, my head would explode. We see the dynamic between Evelyn and Wayman. Wayman always thinks positive and try to find a solution, whether it be fun or words of encouragement. Evelyn is too busy in her mind and is everywhere that she is only focused on the negative. She can't see any other solution but hers. As the elevators goes up, Wayman turns into Alpha Wayman, covering up the cameras. Wayman gives Evelyn two choices: turn left to the appointment or turn right into the janitor's closet. He then hooks Evelyn up with a Bluetooth voice headset. Alpha Wayman starts writing directions on the divorce papers. He tells Evelyn, don't forget to breathe. Evelyn sees her life and her choices. When her father found out that she was a girl, he was not happy. He looked pissed the fuck off. Her daddy always fussing her, telling her to stop running. She leaves with Wayman. Father disowns her. They get a laundromat. Evelyn's reaching out to her father. Her father ignores her. Evelyn is unhappy. She finds out she's pregnant. She's happy. She's chasing after Joy. Then you see Joy rebellion stage, and then her father arrives. The elevator stops at number 9. Alpha Wayman gives Evelyn instructions and tell her, don't say nothing. I'm not even going to remember this. The elevator opens on floor 10. Evelyn chooses the appointment. There are 9 cycles of life, just kind of like how it's 9 planets in our solar system. When it stopped at number 9 and Wayman's giving her the directions, number 9 is the number of completion. It's the ending of a cycle, and then also the 9th planet is Pluto, which is death and rebirth. When the doors finally open, they're on floor 10, which is number 1, which is new start beginnings. And this whole thing is happening on Chinese New Year. Keep that in mind. So this whole thing is symbolic. So the auditor, Deidre, is letting Evelyn know, like, girl, you want to be a singer, you a chef, you a novelist. What does that have to do with the laundromat? Evelyn starts zoning out and she starts to follow the directions that Alpha Wayman gave her. Evelyn gets pulled into the janitor's closet. Alpha Wayman tells Evelyn to go to autopilot. In the main universe, Evelyn looks like she's daydreaming now. Evelyn tells Wayman, like, look, I'm busy. I ain't got time for you. Alpha Wayman informs Evelyn, look, girl, I'm not your husband. I'm another version of him from another life path, another universe. We need your help. A greater evil that has taken root in my world begins spreading its chaos throughout the many verses. We need to bring back balance. We need the greater good. The auditor, Deidre, interrupts Alpha Wayman, and she tells Evelyn, like, girl, I know all the stories. I got all the receipts. And she just starts going in. Wayman starts to apologize and says, oh, I'm sorry. My wife confuses hobbies for businesses. Deidre's like, that's cool, but I'm going to still have to fine her for gross negligence. Evelyn's like, see, you keep on trying to use these big words to try to confuse us. Deidre's like, girl, where's your daughter? Where's your daughter? Alpha Wayman tries to get Evelyn's attention. It's like, girl, stop worrying about that. Evelyn's like, I'm too busy unless you can help me with my taxes. Alpha Wayman tells Evelyn, that doesn't matter. I know you. With every passing moment you feel you might have missed your chance to make something of your life. I'm here to tell you, every rejection, every disappointment has led you here. This moment, don't let anything distract you from it. Evelyn starts to smile. Deidre's like, do you think this is funny? Alpha Wayman asks Evelyn, so what would it be? Both of the Evelyn says, I'm thinking. Alpha Wayman tells Evelyn we're out of time. They're going to kill us in this universe. We're only in this burner universe just for communication. He tells her you will know when it's time to fight. Evelyn keeps going back and forth between the burner universe and the main universe. The other Wayman asks the auditor for more time to refile. Before Alpha Wayman gets killed by the evil Deidre, he tells Evelyn, trust no one. Evelyn causes a scene when she gets hit in the other universe, and now she is scared. Deidre tells her to sit her ass down, and she got till 6 p.m. at night. So they leaving. Wayman finds the divorce papers on the floor. He's like, damn, is this why you was acting weird? Evelyn's like, what you talking about? Wayman holds up divorce papers, and all Evelyn can see is the directions that Alpha Wayman wrote her. So Evelyn thinks that Wayman is talking about the directions about the multiverse. So she tells him, you in the elevator, come back next week, bye. Again, Evelyn is avoiding conversation. She avoids communication. So they waiting at the elevator. Evelyn peeps the audit coming and tells Wayman, I'm not ready to fight. Wayman says, maybe we don't have a choice. Meanwhile, the grandpa, which is her father, is talking shit. Talking about little girls always running away, never finishing what they started. Pop, I thought you could barely understand English, Sway. How do you know what they talking about? Her father irked me throughout this whole movie, and I do believe her father was alpha go-go the whole time. I believe that he was the alpha the whole time. Like, cause what are you talking about? Always running away. What the father said was true about Evelyn always running away, but it had nothing to do with what was going on. Where I feel like he set her up for real. Evelyn's like, nah, father, you wrong about me. I'm the right one. Evelyn socks Deidre in her face. Deidre's like, girl, what the did she just assault me? Call the police. Evelyn finds the divorce papers and she confronts Wayman about it. Wayman says he don't think the divorce is okay. Evelyn tells Wayman, we made a sacred promise. When it come down to marriages, I said this in my Strack breakdown, but y'all, everything is ritual. Everything is spells. Everything is everything. So when it comes down to marriage, that is a ritual. That is a spell. So when she said we made a sacred promise, sacred basically means dedication, devoted to God or religious purpose. So when she says we made a sacred promise, we devote it to God or religious purpose. Alpha Wayman takes control when Wayman tries to express his feelings towards Evelyn about the divorce. Alpha Wayman eats some chapstick. He turns into a kung fu master and he starts fighting his fanny pack. On his fanny pack though, it has a pig on it. Pig means family in this movie. So as Alpha Wayman is kicking ass and taking names, Evelyn's got some popcorn. She's like, Wayman? Why Wayman? Like, Wayman? This is you? This you? Wayman gives Evelyn two choices. Live to your full potential or lie in your consequences. Evelyn chooses to lie there. Alpha Wayman picks her up. Back in the janitor closet in universe 4655th, we found out that Joy is the greater evil. Joy touches Evelyn and she goes through all these multiverses and her brains pops and she dies. Evil Joy finds the correct universe, controlling main Joy, and leaves to find Evelyn. Evelyn asks Alpha Wayman how can he do that when you can't even kill a spider. Alpha Wayman try to explain the verse jumping. They go and hide. Evelyn is worried about her father. Alpha Wayman says he's good, he's straight, we monitor him. We see the father in the break room fucking up some pudding. They're underneath the desk. Alpha Wayman shows Evelyn her universe. He says, a bubble floating in a cosmic foam of existence. The further away you get from your universe, the bigger the difference is. He is from the Alphaverse. He says, we were the first universe to make contact with others. Alpha says Evelyn, she was a brilliant woman. She discovered a way to temporarily link your conscience to another version of yourself. Accessing all the memories, skills, even emotions. We call it verse jumping. They show the Alphaverse and we see a RV riding through a wasteland like a desert, and there's a Hell Bagel poster. Before they leave the room, Evelyn says, why don't you get your Evelyn to do it? Alpha Wayman says his Evelyn is dead. Evelyn's like, so what happened? Like, how she died? Wayman explains that he has seen Evelyn die in 1,000 ways in 1,000 worlds, and she was murdered. Alpha Wayman tells Evelyn about Jobu Tupaki. He says that she's an agent of pure chaos with no real motives or desires. I have to start breaking it down now because I feel like it's going to become more confusing if I wait. So Alpha means the beginning, the leader. It is the first letter of the Greek alphabet. And the Alphaverse, they represent the 4 elements. Alpha Wayman is water. He's the water element. Alpha Gogo, which is Evelyn's father, he is the fire element. Joy, who is Jobu Tupaki, she is air. And Evelyn, she is earth. The 4 elements and what they pertain to the chakras. The earth element is associated with the root chakra, which deals with survival and is blocked by fear. The water element is associated with the sacral chakra, which deals with pleasure and is blocked by guilt. The fire element is associated with the solar chakra and it deals with willpower and is blocked by shame. They said the air element supposed to be associated with the heart chakra, but I beg to differ. I feel like the air element has to do with the throat chakra, which deals with the truth and is blocked by lies. The Alphaverse represents the 4 elements, which also the 4 elements represents the mind, the body, the soul, plus the communication. So now that we know that, Evelyn struggles with communication. She runs from it. She avoids it. Evelyn struggles with her emotions. Struggles to actually feel things. She avoids her emotions. She avoids conversations. And she seeks validation or approval from her father. And when she's getting audited, who is all in that tax office with her? Her mind, which is Wayman. Her body, which is Evelyn. Her soul, which is her father. All 3 are in attendance. All 3 are in attendance. But who's not there? Joy, which is air element, which is communication. So after Alpha Wayman tells Evelyn about Jobu Tupaki being an agent of pure chaos, Evelyn is like, child, can we just allow her to destroy the other bubbles? There's so many of them. It's okay if we lose some. Just leave me out of this. I have nothing to do with that. Alpha Wayman says, Jobu was building something. We thought it was a black hole, but it consumes more than light and matter. Child, we getting into science now. What? E equals mc squared? He says, they don't know what it is, but they can feel it. Something is off. Your clothes never wear as well the next day. Your hair never falls in the same way. Your coffee tastes wrong. Our institutions are crumbling. Nobody trusts their neighbor anymore. And you stay up at night wondering to yourself. Evelyn then says, how can we get back? Alpha Wayman responds, this is the Alphaverse mission. Finding the one to stand up to Jobu. Don't that sound like the Matrix to y'all? So when I was watching it the first time, I'm like, when Wayman is saying that, like something is going on in this universe. I always felt that since I was a child. I don't know if the shift happened when I was 5 or 6, but it was always a feeling that what is going on in this world? Like something about this world is not right. Something is going on. Alpha Wayman and Evelyn encounter Alpha Auditor, which is Deidre, evil Deidre. Wayman tries to jump into a gymnast. Auditor Deidre backbends Alpha Wayman and traps him behind the door. Now they're trying to teach Evelyn how to verse jump. The Alphaverse tells Evelyn she has to profess her love to Deidre and actually mean it. She's like, what? They like, child, the less sense it makes, the better. So random things slingshots you to your desired universe. It's basically like a cheat code, kind of like when you play in a game and it's a bunch of XOs, random things. That's basically what slingshots you to the next one, is you doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do. Evelyn Jump was rejected and she's at a local universe that returned home to do her taxes. In the local universe, Wayman explains he's not trying to hurt Evelyn. Evelyn is confused. She doesn't know why she's there. Local Wayman tells Evelyn every time he tries to talk to her, she always gets pulled away. And as he's saying that, Evelyn gets tossed around like a rag doll. Alpha Wayman sees Evelyn get slung around. He like, child, you're not the right Evelyn. Sorry, I'm going. Back in the local universe, Local Wayman says he's tried to start the new year on a good foot. He says, maybe we would have been better off if we had never gotten married. Local Evelyn said, I never said that. Wayman says, you don't have to. It's the way you look at me, as he cries. Back in the main universe, Deidre busts open the door, interrupting local Evelyn. Evelyn gets on her knees like she's praying and says, I love you. The slingshot works. We see Evelyn live as she becomes a kung fu fighter / actor. So you see how Evelyn prayed to Deidre like she was a god. That's how the slingshot worked. So in that life path, Evelyn doesn't choose Wayman. She chose to stay. Evelyn Master says even a cookie could be kung fu. Remember, Wayman baked Deidre some cookies. Evelyn's master gives Evelyn a cookie and says she's proud of her. Back in the main universe, Evelyn now has her talents. She could do kung fu and she's beating the brakes off of Deidre. Deidre head slams into a wall. Evelyn is now emotional because she saw a life without Wayman. Evelyn says it was so beautiful and she says she should have listened to her father and never gone with him all those years ago. Main Wayman is sad. He turns around so sad and Alpha Wayman takes control. Y'all notice how every time Alpha Wayman takes control is when Wayman is vulnerable and emotional. And do y'all see how Evelyn said she should have never married Wayman in the main universe, but the Wayman in the local universe still knows how Evelyn feels. Everything is connected. His spirit already knows. His body knows. Your body knows everything. Spirit knows. They showing you how the spirit works. This is how we know without knowing. When people say the spirit told me, or I just know, I don't know how I know, I just know. This is what we be talking about, because we know. Another version of me, my spirit already told me, my body already told me. I already been through this. In the main universe, they go into a meeting room. Alpha Wayman tells Evelyn to stay calm. Her brain is under an incredible amount of stress. Evelyn is still in the Kung Fu movie universe. Evelyn is at her premiere and all eyes are on her. Wayman slaps the taste out of Evelyn's mouth and tells her mind is like clay, a pot holding water. Every jump opens another crack, causing things to leak through. With training, you will learn how to reseal these cracks. Alpha tells Evelyn to eat because she needs energy. In the Alpha universe, the cattle was killed off, one of many things that they lost in the war against Jobu. The cattle was killed off in the Alphaverse, and the father was tearing up some pudding in that meeting room. Child, that was Alpha Go-Go. That was Alpha Go-Go the whole time. Like, he was tearing that pudding up. Evelyn says, what if she wants to go back into the other universe? Alpha Wayman says, hell no. If you fall for their temptations, you can invite contradictions and chaos. The clay pot can shatter and you can die, or for worse. Evelyn's like, what's worse than dying? Wayman tried to ignore the question. Evelyn's like, no, you need to explain this right now. Alpha Wayman explains, they began training many young minds to verse jump. Our little explorer was the most gifted. You saw her potential and pushed her beyond her limit. An overload mind usually dies. Instead, her mind was fractured. Now her mind experiences every world, every possibility at the same exact time, commanding the infinite power of the multiverse. He continues to say, Jobu has seen too much, lost any sense of morality and belief in objective truth. Evelyn asks, what does she want? Alpha says, no one knows. All we know is she's looking for you, Evelyn. Don't that remind you of Nars Barkley's song, Crazy? I remember when I lost my mind. I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions has an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Y'all see how everything is connected? Evelyn gets sucked back into the Kung Fu universe and she sees Wayman. Her and Wayman have a conversation. She finds out that Wayman is rich, honey. He got some money. Evelyn keeps falling in love with these versions of Wayman. You can see her like, she's feeling these type of Waymans, but she's not really feeling her Wayman like that. Back in the main universe, Evelyn and Alpha Wayman gets arrested. Alpha Wayman tells Evelyn to jump into another universe. Try peeing on yourself. It's a good jumping pad before he gets tased and knocked out. And walks Jobu Tupaki with a pig. Here's another pig. And she's dressed just like Elvis. A cop tells Jobu that she can't be there. Jobu ends up lecturing the cop about the word can't. She says, is that I can't be here, or you meant to say I'm not allowed to be here. The cop keeps on telling her you can't be here. She says, you don't understand the meaning of that word can't. I can physically be here. And Jobu says that I can walk right through you. Jobu ends up walking through the man, dancing a cop to death, beating cops up. So this part plays a big part of the meaning of words. Knowing what something means, you know the law or the truth about it. It also touches about beliefs. I know there's a possibility that I can walk through you. And I know for a fact that I can be here. Once you know and have that belief, then anything is possible. And also, there's nothing holding back Jobu. She has seen everything. She has been everywhere. There's no laws binding her to anything. She has no belief in objective truth, and she lost her morality. It's like Jobu has become a god. It's like she is Christ conscious, God conscious. Evelyn ends up finding out that Jobu is actually Joy. Evelyn starts blaming Jobu for why her Joy acts the way she acts and why she's gay. Jobu was like, bitch, you still pressed that I like girls in this universe? Evelyn's like, okay, I'm gonna have to fight her because this is the greater evil that Wayman's been talking about. Evelyn is trying to verse jump, but she has too much on her mind, and she ends up jumping to a universe where they have hot dogs as fingers. In the Alpha universe, they like, this bitch done jumped off the map. She's not even in the map no more. The cool thing about her jumping to the hot dog universe is it frees her from the handcuffs. So in the hot dog universe, hot dog Evelyn is married to Deidre, the auditor. Evelyn is grossed out by the hot dog fingers, and Evelyn's a lesbian. It goes to show that anything is possible. Evelyn manifested a world where people have hot dogs as fingers. Main Evelyn asks Jobu, what do you want from me? Jobu says, let me help you open up your mind. They enter a white palace type of universe, and there's a black bagel. Jobu says she got bored one day and put everything on a bagel, her hopes, her dreams, and it collapsed on itself. When you really put everything on a bagel, it becomes this, the truth. Evelyn says, what's the truth? Jobu says, nothing matters. Evelyn goes, you don't believe that. Jobu says, it feels nice. If nothing matters, then all the pain and guilt you feel for making nothing out of your life goes away. Jobu then starts to sing Sucked into a Bagel. Jobu emotions, the look on Joy's face when she said nothing matters. Because it's a time, kind of like parts of times in your life where you go through life and you're like, why am I here? Like you start to, dwell, you start to think like, what is we doing this for? Why am I working? Why am I living? Why am I breathing? Why am I on this realm? Why am I sent here? You start to really develop this nothing matters. And I know like for a lot of people, I'm just gonna speak for myself, teenage years, and I feel like after when you get grown, like when you graduate high school, to me it's also when you hit that spiritual journey and you elevating, you start to develop that conscious that like, what is the meaning? Nothing really matters. Like, why are we here? So you start to tell yourself that that is the truth. We tell ourselves lies all the time. We tell ourselves lies like it's truth. We feed ourselves lies that we don't even know the truth, or we don't understand what's the truth. But to Jobu, that is her truth, but she doesn't understand her truth. She believes the truth means nothing matters, but that's how she's perceiving it. That's her perception. It's kind of like the glass half empty, half full situation. It's like she can look at it as nothing matters, as in nothing matters. I shouldn't take this to heart if nothing matters. Nothing matters, that means I can be free, I can be happy. But she's looking at nothing matters as if, what's the point of me getting good grades? What's the point of me being happy? What's the point of me being joyful? That's how she's seeing the nothing matters. She knows that it's a lie because she says the pain goes away. She's spreading this to the universes that nothing matters. So it is spreading. Mama Wayman said that institutions are crumbling. Keep in mind, Evelyn pushed her to convey these multiverses. She knows everything now and is everywhere. So anything is possible. She's like a god. Jobu lost her mind. She lost her way. She lost her morals, but only believe in nothing matters. As Evelyn was getting sucked into the chaos, Jobu gets her ass run over and flung into a wall by Alpha Gogo. Alpha Gogo, which is Evelyn's father, wakes up Wayman. They go inside of an office. Alpha Gogo tells Wayman that he disobeyed him and allowed another mind to be compromised. You know what we must do. Evelyn starts doubting herself. Alpha Wayman says he's never seen a Evelyn like you. He says the goals you never finished, the dreams you never followed, you're living the worst you. Every failure branched off into another Evelyn, basically a better version of Evelyn. I don't believe what Wayman said, that's the worst Evelyn, because hell no. Evelyn was a pinata. Evelyn was in jail. That is not the worst Evelyn. I feel like what he meant to say is because Evelyn had so much ambition and she never acted on it. Evelyn never acted on her dreams made her have so much imagination and so much ideas and creativity that she can verse jump to anything. I just feel like she living the worst you. What? No, that damn sure cannot be the worst Evelyn. Alpha Gogo said, what's good is all of that when her mind is succumbing to the chaos. Evelyn has seen the truth, and Evelyn now has that truth of nothing matters in her head. Main Joy starts knocking on the door while Jobu Tupaki is in the Alphaverse. Back in the Alphaverse, Jobu is dressed like a virus. She looks like a disease, an airborne disease. Alpha Women tells Evelyn to hold it down for him. He leaves to go help the Alphaverse. Grandpa Gogo said, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to sleep, child. Evelyn tapes Joy to the chair and explains to Wayman and her what's going on. She says that y'all like puppets, like the movie Rakakuni. Joy is like, bitch, you mean Ratatouille? Like, what are you talking about? And that part is funny because she's like Rakakuni, like, no, I know it's a movie called Rakakuni. And Evelyn is going to later on create the universe with Rakakuni. Like, she's going to create that multiverse. And that's how you know this bitch is so gifted, like the worst Evelyn. Like, bitch, you got her fucked up. Let me stop. Alpha Gogo calls Evelyn to him and gives Evelyn a blade. He wants her to kill Joy. He says it's only protocol. It gives her one less universe to access. Evelyn's like, what the F? That's your granddaughter. Alpha Gogo says, how can you expect to defeat her in every universe if you can't kill her in one? Sacrifices is to win the war. Evelyn uses the blade to cut Joy loose. Alpha Gogo pulls out a gun and says that you're under her spell. And I like how he said that you're under her spell because Jobu told her nothing matters. Jobu is air. Jobu represents communication, intellect, your perception, your creativity, your beliefs. Evelyn says to her father, I'm not gonna let you kill her. Alpha Gogo tells Evelyn that she created Jobu. You pushed your daughter too hard and broke her. It's a matter of time before you become just like her. So when they keep saying that Evelyn broke Joy, you pushed her too hard, Evelyn created an ego. Jobu Tupaki represents the ego. Now her ego is destroying the multiverse. Evelyn knows she has to become like Jobu to understand and save her daughter. So Evelyn just starts verse jumping. She starts dancing. She made her father eat his boogers. Gogo's like, I don't want to lose another family member to the darkness. Evelyn's like, I promise you, you won't. Pushes the father out the way. She hides Wayman and Joy in a secret pleasure room. Alpha Gogo pissed the fuck off in the Alphaverse. He's like, send every Alpha jumper with a counterpart to stop Evelyn. Gogo says, Alphaverse finds itself as the last line of defense against total chaos. He then says, this Evelyn is as stubborn as the others. We must kill her before she becomes another Jobu Tupaki. Not only was Evelyn getting murdered by Jobu, which is her ego, but she's been getting murdered by the other elements, especially getting murdered by her soul. So the soul can and will decide to exterminate, to part ways from your body. People don't understand everything that happens on the outside world is a reflection of what happens in the inside. So all the war and chaos that you see on the outside is the war and the chaos that happens on the inside. And when it comes down to these battles that we have with ourselves, we are fighting ourselves. Sometimes our mind and our body are fighting, like how Wayman is trying to divorce Evelyn. Well, he's not really trying to divorce her. He's trying to have conversations with her to help them better their marriage. But the mind is trying to divorce the body. This is why the mind, the body, the soul has to be in harmony. Love. There's constant battles between the three. I low-key feel like it's mostly the mind that be corrupt. But you see here, air got corrupt, which is air, again, communication, lies, the truth. And air is inside of us. Air is inside of the body. Air is all around us. So it's basically, yeah, like, it's not like air is corrupt. It's like you're corrupt. And it's the lies that you tell yourself, which is causing a rift between the mind, the body, and soul. Is causing these fights. Also, to touch on the elements, to me, I feel like everybody that's on Jobu Tupaki's side is air elements, and everybody else are, you know, the water, the earth, the fire, whatever. In the room, Evelyn's trying to talk with Joy. She tried to have a heart-to-heart. She tried to tell her, you know, it's not your fault. She then blames Jobu for why she's like that. She's like, you know, this Jobu, she has your soul in her palm of her hands. Joy is like, what the hell are you talking about? But you see how Evelyn is not taking accountability. They keep telling Evelyn she created Jobu Tupaki. The reason why Joy became Jobu Tupaki is because of you, Evelyn. You created that monster. There's no accountability. There's no owning up. However, Evelyn does know she has to become like Jobu to save her Joy. The jumpers try to smoke Evelyn out. Wayman tells Evelyn, I think you pushed things too far. Evelyn says, but not far enough. She jumps to a universe where she can sing. In the singing universe, Father tells Evelyn to be careful and not to run too fast. Evelyn falls and loses her eyes and becomes a singer. You'll remember in the main universe, Evelyn's father tells Evelyn to stop running because he fears that she can get hurt. His spirit already experienced his child being hurt. So to prevent that, the caution to tell little Evelyn to stop running gets passed down. It gets spread to the other universes. Mind you, Evelyn allowed Joy to run in her universe. As Evelyn is singing at her concert, main Evelyn is fighting. When she gets hurt, it affects her in the other universe. Evelyn swallows a frog and becomes the peace sign flipper. These are the same everyday people Evelyn sees. So it's like everybody you see and meet represents a version of you in another universe. Also, saying that simple talents can be very helpful and useful. You start to understand that you are everybody and everybody is you. That's the third eye chakra. When you start to understand that, damn, we are all is one, one is all. Evelyn defeats the office people and continues her fight in the open. Evelyn jumps to Rakakuni universe as she fights the dog lady. She defeats her by throwing a metal egg. In the raccoon universe, she throws a raw egg on a guest. Because she is fighting, everything is mirroring her. So it's messing up her job as a chef. Evelyn is fighting Chad. And in the Rakakuni universe, Evelyn is jealous of Chad because, you know, he's doing so well and stuff. Joy helps Evelyn jump. As Evelyn is beating ass, she's also taking some licks. And it's affecting other universes, especially the Kung Fu movie Evelyn. Alpha Gogo joins the fight and tries to blow her up so they can die together. Evelyn jumps into another Kung Fu universe where she could use her pinky to fight. So Evelyn starts fighting with her pinky. Alpha Wayman comes back to say his last goodbyes to her. He tells her wanting to save her daughter pissed off everyone in the multiverse. They almost kiss. In the Alphaverse, Jobu touches Alpha Wayman and he dies. Jobu then shows up. Evelyn throws up and dies because of her clay pot. Jobu closes Evelyn's eyes and tells her, I see you again soon. Then starts to sing somewhere out there in all that noise. In the Kung Fu universe, that's the ending to the movie. So main Evelyn actually died in that universe. Y'all see how it split, I think 3 or 4 times. It's crazy how Kung Fu Evelyn is playing main Evelyn in a movie. Actors are portraying a version of themselves in another universe. And some roles make some of the actors crazy. Cracked clay pot. And have y'all noticed that some movies, I think it's Superman, not all the actors, but majority of all the actors that has played Superman has died. Not from old age, but like they end up dying. These movies are not just movies, y'all. Like they're not just stories. Somebody didn't just make this up. This was by design. Kung Fu Evelyn leaves the theater and she starts talking about her daughter Joy. In the other universes, Evelyn is running. She gets hit by a car. In the Singing universe, she falls over. The Raccoon universe, she catches Chad and the raccoon. Hot Dog Evelyn rejects Deidre, making her cry, and she leaves. Back in the Kung Fu universe, Evelyn tells Wayman her clay pot is leaking. She can think whatever nonsense that she wants, and somewhere out there, it actually exists. There's no limitations anymore. Meaning, anything Evelyn put her mind to, she can create. We switch back to local Evelyn, back at home finishing up the taxes before the party starts. Evelyn's placing the paper right or left, made another split, turning into another universe. We get to part 2, everywhere. Local Evelyn sees Joy walking up on her and she's tired of her tricks. She's tired of Jobu. Joy says, Mom, are you already drunk? Stating that Evelyn is an alcoholic. So in the local universe, Evelyn's an alkie. Jobo arrives and tells Evelyn that everything is just a random rearrangement of particles in a vibrating superposition. She says, you see how everything we do gets washed away in a sea of every other possibility as she is walking through multiverses. Jobu's like, girl, hit me. Since you want to fight so bad, hit me. A montage of them fighting, playing, and killing each other play out. Wayman comes in and says Evelyn needs to drop off the paperwork. Evelyn says that she will take care of it. Evelyn's confused. She's like, girl, if you do not want to fight, what is this about? Like, what do you want? Jobu tells Evelyn to sit on the crack of the couch. The crack clay pot. They get sucked into the couch and it's the White Palace again. The palace to me gets like holy place. Evelyn's like, girl, I don't care about the bagel, the apple verse. I only care about my joy. Jobu tells Evelyn every version of joy is Jobu Tupaki. As she hands her a fake Dr. Seuss book, Jobu says she has felt everything that Joy has felt and she knows the joy and pain of having you as a mother. Evelyn replies, you know I will only do the right thing for you. So in Evelyn's eyes, she feels like I'm protecting you. Everything is for your protection. I'm just doing what I feel like is best for you. Jobu says, right is a tiny box invented by people who are afraid. I know what it feels like to be inside that box. So they give us a flashback of Evelyn telling Gogo that Becky is Joy's best friend. Evelyn's like, Gogo is a different generation. Jobu's like, you don't have to hide behind him anymore. The bagel will show you the true nature of things. You will be free from that box just like me. Evelyn says, you're young, your mind is always changing. I still know who I am. Jobu replies, you're stuck like this forever. Evelyn says, BS, I'm coming back with my joy into a happy life. Evelyn stares at the bagel. We see all the multi versions of Evelyn. At the New Year party, local Evelyn is spaced out and looks lost as Jobu lurks behind her. Jobu explains she wasn't looking to kill Evelyn. She wanted someone to see what she sees, feel what she feels. In the Kung Fu universe, Rich Wayman talks to Evelyn and says, what if you came with me all those years ago? Main Universe 2.0, Evelyn rises from the dead and reconnects. Local Evelyn tells Deidre to shut up, you don't matter. Also in the Hakdo universe, Deidre is sad and her bags are packed. Evelyn starts to lose herself to the darkness, the bagel. They are losing their mind, their sense of reality because they've seen too much. They are surrounded by everything in the darkness. Their mind is fractured. Kung Fu Evelyn tells Wayman what would have happened. Child broke, tiny apartment, taxes, laundry, and then Evelyn tries to kiss him. Wayman's like, hold on, think about it. Don't give me false hope. Local Evelyn is drunk off her ass. She says, pretending we know what we're doing. We're just going around in circles. She ends up signing divorce papers and says no more running. Deidre comes with the cops to seize her business, and this is when the chaos truly begins. Then we see Evelyn touch Wayman, choking, kissing, slapping him, throwing stuff, and also hands Wayman the divorce papers. In the Main Universe 2.0, Evelyn stabs Wayman. Wayman's like, what are you doing? Jobu says, not a single moment would go by without every other universe screaming for your attention, never fully there. Just a lifetime of fractured moments, contradictions, and confusion. Few specks of time where things actually make sense. So every universe is calling to the highest of the high for help, direction, and guidance. Don't that sounds like calling for God? Everything has a cause and effect. So everything that Evelyn is doing, saying, has an effect on the other multiverses, especially because her clay pots are leaking. Local Evelyn is a drunk and she doesn't care anymore. The chef Evelyn is envious. She's jealous. She has hate in her heart. The Kung Fu Evelyn, she is thirsty for Rich Wayman, throwing herself at him. Singing Evelyn, child, she just screaming. Evelyn made the hot dog Evelyn insecure and ashamed of her partner, causing the hot dog Evelyn to be bipolar and weird and also mean to her partner Deidre. So you see how all of these are affecting them negatively. It's hitting them real quick. How do you become insecure in a universe where everybody has hot dogs as fingers? Mind you, she was regular, degular, schmegular. She was living a good life before Evelyn touched her shit. Before Evelyn popped into that universe, she was living good. Now she's crazy. And it's also kind of funny because, you know, people be like, people do outlandish stuff, or they just say like somebody did something wild and they be like, that wasn't me, I did not do that, that was not me. What if that wasn't them? Like, what if what if it is another version of them? Back at the local universe, Evelyn smashes the laundry glass. Evelyn says, I always hated this place, and start breaking things. Evelyn's mind is now completely fractured, and now we see all these different versions of Evelyn screaming. Even her urn is screaming. Evelyn gets arrested and then turns into a rock. In the rock universe, Jobu explains they are rocks, and because the universe conditions weren't right for life to form, most of them are like that. So after Evelyn was arrested, she falls to her knees like she's defeated. It gives depression. When you're at your lowest, you become a rock, stuck in steel. Evelyn apologized for ruining things. She's starting to take accountability, y'all. Joy says, hush girl, just be a rock. Evelyn says she feels stupid. Joy says we are all stupid human beings. Joy says, for most of our history, we knew the earth was the center of the universe. We killed and tortured people for saying otherwise until we discovered that the earth is actually revolving around the sun, which is just one sun out of trillions of suns. And now look at us trying to deal with the fact that all of that exists inside of one universe out of who knows how many. Every new discovery is just a reminder we're all small and stupid. When you hear them say sun, the moon, earth, sun, soul, the moon, the mind, the subconscious, earth is the body. Joy says she's been trapped like this for so long, hoping Evelyn would see something she didn't. She says, convince me there's another way. Evelyn's like, what you talking about? Back at the palace, Jobu says she built the bagel not to destroy everything, it was to destroy herself. If she went in, could she finally escape, like die? Jobu wants to die, but not alone. She also wants to live and find another way, but she doesn't know the solution. Evelyn starts to focus on Wayman in the local universe. Wayman convinced Deidre to let Evelyn go and give them more time. Jobu says, that's nothing special, child. Evelyn then asks Wayman, like, that's impossible. Like, how did you do that? Wayman's emotional. He's crying. He said he just talked to her. So it goes back and forth with the Kung Fu universe and the main universe 2.0. Rich Wayman tells Evelyn, you think I'm weak. I know everybody is going around in circles and that this is a cruel world. Wayman is protecting Evelyn and Wayman wants everybody to stop fighting. Wayman says, y'all are fighting because you are scared and confused. I'm confused too. Somehow it feels like it's my fault. Mind you, Wayman is water. Wayman also is the subconscious, the mind. So Wayman is blaming himself, so he's feeling guilty. Rich Wayman says, I choose to see the good side of things. I'm not naive. It is strategic and necessary. This is how I learn how to survive. Wayman 2.0 says, I don't know. All I do know is that we have to be kind. And he asks Evelyn to be kind, especially when we don't know what's going on. Rich Wayman says, I see myself as a fighter too. This is how I fight. Rich Wayman is saying how I'm not weak. I'm not naive. This is how I choose to fight. I don't have to choose violence. I don't have to choose chaos. Wayman has been that light the whole time. This part right here, I was crying. Because that part where he says, when we are lost, especially when we don't know what's going on, we need to be kind. They just been showing us how everything has an effect on the multiverses. And mind you, we've been knowing this. What you get put out to the universe is what you get. What you do is what you get. You know what I'm saying? We've been knowing this. So it's like every time when it feels like your life is going to shit, like I broke down the hose. When we don't know what's going on, we need to be kind. Be kind to ourselves. Be kind to our body. Be kind to our mental. Be kind to thy neighbors. You start to realize that, damn, everybody is a version of me in another universe. Main Evelyn tells Wayman, it's too late, child. Wayman says, no, it's not. Like, don't say that. Evelyn touches Wayman and she starts to see Wayman's emotions. Mind you, Wayman got stabbed in his side by Evelyn. Evelyn stabbed herself in the side, low-key. She stabbed her mind. You see Wayman's emotions. Wayman is excited, joyful, and cheerful. This is the first time Evelyn is seeing through Wayman's point of view, which is the water element. Water is emotions. Evelyn suppresses her emotions. Everything that Evelyn is going through in her life with her family and business is the same issues that are happening on the inside of her. Evelyn lost her soul when she chose Wayman. When she got married, she lost her passion, her desire, and confidence. She looks lost and starts reaching out to her father. She was dealing with fear, never acted on any of her dreams. Evelyn was also losing her mind and feeding into her ego with lies. Jobu had her. Evelyn kept on looking at that damn bagel. Then she gets distracted by Wayman. She keeps on focusing on Wayman. Wayman is that fucking subconscious. Wayman is that water. Wayman is those emotions, that feeling. She keeps getting tugged out of Jobu's grasp and out of the dark hole because of Wayman. In a Kung Fu universe, Rich Wayman tells Evelyn, in another life, I will like to do laundry and taxes with you. Local Evelyn hugs Wayman and they both start crying. This time you see Wayman crying. You see him emotional. You see him apologizing. But you still see him smiling. You still see him laughing, being playful. Back at the palace, Evelyn doesn't want to go with Jobu anymore. Jobu is salty. She says eventually everything goes away. And she brings the bagel, the darkness, the black hole into the main universe, and people start to get sucked in. Evelyn tries to stop Jobu from leaving by fighting. Wayman tells Evelyn no more fighting. In a local universe, Deidre believes that she is unlovable. Evelyn tells Deidre that's not true. There's always something to love. But you're telling yourself that you are unlovable, which is making that your reality. You're making that your truth. And that's how you're going to perceive your reality. That's how you're going to see your world. Evelyn starts to fight like Wayman with kindness and love. Evelyn starts to help fix what she does in the other universes. I like how she turned the bullets into Google eyes and puts one on her forehead like she has a third eye. Don't that remind you of the Matrix with Neo at the end and how he stopped the bullets with his mind? Neo realized, baby, there's no limitations. I am the creator. I control this. I can choose how I can fight. In the rock universe, Evelyn moves closer to Joy. Jobu says she needs to just be a rock and not move. Evelyn says there's no rules. In the main universe 2.0, Evelyn gives people joy and hope, something to love, some light for the darkness. Then Alpha Gogo tries to stop Evelyn. Rich Wayman tells Evelyn, he who loves the most regrets the most. Let's not live in that fantasy. In the main universe, Jobu says, see, it always balances out. So in the other universes, it shows them giving up hope. It's like a cycle of having hope and faith, and then it turns into self-doubt, and that's when you start to give up. Alpha Gogo tells Evelyn to let go of Joy. Evelyn refuses to do what her father did to her. In the local universe, Alpha Gogo tells Evelyn that she's not his daughter and disowns her. Local Evelyn, which is the drunk Evelyn, she tells her father like, yeah, you don't have to be proud of me. I'm proud of myself. Evelyn finally stood up to her father and spoke her truth. Now she no longer seeks validation. She no longer cares about her father's opinion about her life. Back in the main universe, Evelyn tells her father, all of your greatest fears are squeezed into one person. She's talking about Jobu. She then says she didn't want Joy to turn up like her a mess. Drunk Evelyn says it's okay to be a mess. She's just like me. The universe gave her someone kind, patient, and forgiving to make up for all that she lacks. Evelyn takes Becky and Joy's hand and tells her father that Becky is Joy's girlfriend. Alpha Gogo finally lets go of Evelyn. Evelyn and Jobu starts to fight in the multiverses. Evelyn still chose peace, kindness. Jobu says, maybe you win in this universe, but another time I beat you or we tie. The bagel is where we finally find peace. Evelyn pulls Jobu from the black hole, the bagel, and tells her, girl, I'm your mother. Stop calling me by my government name. I like how they gave Evelyn the name Evelyn. So I feel like her name's supposed to correlate to Eve. Alpha Gogo and Wayman help stop Evelyn and Jobu from getting sucked in. They show Evelyn chasing Joy in other universes. In the local universe, Joy tells Evelyn to stop, to let her go, to let go of her ego. Jobu says, when I'm around you, it hurts the both of us. Just let me go. And Evelyn agrees. She says, okay. And they show a flashback of little Joy running, and Evelyn is chasing her. So she lets her go. Evelyn's like, hold on, let me speak my piece right quick. Like, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna speak my piece. Girl, you are getting fat. I don't like your tattoos, even though it means family. You don't call enough. And all the places I can be, why would I want to be here with you? It doesn't make sense. Remember in the beginning when Alpha Wayman was trying to explain how the verse jump works and how he said the less sense, the better. And that's kind of how like synchronicities happen too. Like, the less things make sense, the better. And that's how you know you kind of like on the right track, because it don't make sense. Evelyn says, maybe you're right. These new discoveries will make us feel like even more smaller pieces of shit. Something that explains why you went looking for me through all this noise, and why no matter what, I still want to be here with you. I will always want to be here with you. Job was like, so what? You can be anything, anywhere. Why not go somewhere where your daughter is not this? We only get a few specks of time where any of this makes sense. Evelyn then says that I would cherish it. In the main universe, Evelyn's mind goes stable, while in the other universes, Evelyn is righting her wrongs. She filled the holes with something positive. In the main universe, Evelyn actually lets go of Jobu as she takes in a deep breath. Then Jobu sticks out her arm. Evelyn grabs it, pulling joy out of the bagel out of the darkness. When Jobu was going through the bagel, y'all see how her clothes were changing back to normal. Joy asks local Evelyn, do you still want to have this party? Evelyn says we can do whatever we want. Wayman says nothing matters. Now they're looking at nothing matters as a good thing. Like, nothing matters, let's just have fun. We get to part 3 and it's all at once. The whole family is at the dinner table helping with the taxes. At the tax office, Evelyn kisses Wayman. Deidre tells them, you listened, but you didn't really listen. Letting it be known that Evelyn still has some communication skills to work on. Evelyn starts to zone out while Deidre is talking. It looks like Evelyn is daydreaming, like she's in every place all at once. Deidre asks Evelyn, did you hear me? Evelyn says, sorry, what did you say? And that's the end of the movie. Everything All at Once shows you how Evelyn suppresses her emotions and loves to play the blame game. She also avoids communication and lies to herself. She was dealing with fear, never acted on any of her dreams, dealt with shame from her father, and had too much pride to ask for help. Felt like she needed to do things on her own. Evelyn lost her soul, and then she lost her mind. Evelyn learned the truth from Joy, which is her ego, but she didn't understand the truth. She finally understood that she created the chaos. Evelyn was turned into darkness until she started seeing from Wayman's point of view, which is her emotions and feelings that she held back for so long. Her learning how to fight with love was the only way to fix her problems. She stood up to her father, which also was her pride, and allowed her ego to be let go so she can have her joy back. This film also shows us how we need to let go, releasing our pride and our ego. Jobu was Evelyn's ego. It makes you believe the devil is just God's ego. Even in the dark, you will need to find the light. Don't give in to temptations of lies, fear, doubt, guilt, shame, and ego. Everything All at Once shows us that we are the chaos and the madness. When we lose our soul and our mind, we will need to seek the truth, confront our demons, and take accountability for our wrongs. Understanding our truth will then allow us to see true love. And also touches on how your perception and words make your reality, especially how you feel about yourself in life. Don't be too hard on yourself. Have trust that the highest you already have it planned out already. The future you already know that you won. You live in harmony with your mind, body, and soul. All it took is for you to learn and understand the truth so you can love. I like how it showed the dynamic between mother and daughter. Kind of, sheds a light of how Evelyn acts towards her daughter. Even though she's better than her father, she still is judgmental and she thinks she's helping her, but she's not when she needs to let her go. And I like how they brought that full circle too, about letting go, releasing these parts of you, releasing the pride, releasing the ego, which was Jobu Tupaki. So when I first saw the movie, I fell in love with it deep. 10 out of 10. I loved it. I watched the movie again while elevated, y'all, and I cried through the whole movie. The first time I did not cry at all. I was like, I'm loving this movie. It's deep. I was elevated, and when I'm elevated, y'all, I am on a whole nother conscious level. Like, I see it. I see it all. I see the spiritual side of it. I see the spiritual realm. I see everything. So this movie had me bawling my eyes out the second time I saw it elevated. But this movie is so incredible. I advise y'all to watch it. I advise y'all to rewatch it. I advise y'all to watch it again. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this movie breakdown. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.